Welcome, willkommen, bienvenue. Quickshotz, episode 3, I think. Right, so I'm going to talk about two things. One is an update to the competition I mentioned on my last Dinorwic vlog. A couple of, 3 or 4 months ago actually. But before that, I'm going to talk to you about landscape photographers who inspire me, but who aren't on YouTube. So now I'm kind of all over social media. Well, I like to be all over social media, I guess. And I do frequent a few forums, and in recent years when people have been recommending to other people which photographers they should follow, then the big stars of YouTube have really kind of been at the top of that list, and that's absolutely fine. But there are a hell of a lot of excellent landscape photographers out there today who aren't on YouTube for one reason or another, and are really concentrating on the art of their photography, and who are perhaps not as well known as the YouTube guys. So I thought just to give them a bit of a shout out, really, I would come up with 5 top UK based landscape photographers who are working today, as it were. In the future I might do a few more vlogs like this to introduce some other photographers I follow as well, but these guys are the first that came to mind today, and are people who inspire me. So kicking off, number 1 on the list is Lee Acaster. Now, I've run a few workshops with Lee, but he's not on YouTube, clearly. But Lee is an absolutely fantastic photographer. He's won numerous awards: Wex Photographer of the Year, Amateur Photographer of the Year, British Wildlife Photography Awards, and International Garden Photographer of the Year as well in recent years. And now Lee is based in Norfolk. Here's his website, and he concentrates on coastal work, woodland, and very recently he's been going pretty dark. He's liking his black and white, dark, moody type images. So well worth checking out. Number 2, I would say, is Neil Burnell. Now, Neil is a rising star in the photography world. He's only really come onto the scene in the last sort of 3 or 4 years, but he's by trade he's a graphic designer, I think, and he brings those skills to his photography. Now, he does use quite a bit of Photoshop. He does make composite images, but he does them in such a way to make them actually believable, which you don't get a lot of these days. And he does a lot of long exposure work, coastal work, woodland, and recently, well, he's a bit of a chameleon actually. Recently he's been turning his attention to other things as well, such as macro, and he's been doing a lot of really nice fine art macro work, photographing insects and things like that, and they're really beautiful images, worth checking out. Now, number 3, I would say, is Stu McGlennon. So Stu is based up in the Lake District, and if you like your Lake District images, then Stu is definitely worth checking out. Now, he's recently gone pro. He had a shift work type job which was putting strain on his family life, and he decided enough was enough. I'm gonna chop in the certainty of income and change it for the stress of self-employment. But he's done it in a way which is pretty cool. So he's opened a gallery in Keswick, Lens District it's called, and it's opposite George Fisher, the outdoors store. Really worth popping in. It's only a small little gallery, but he's got images by himself in there and a few other select photographers as well. Not your usual tourist type fare of, blue sky and puffy white clouds and reflections and all that kind of stuff. He does have that kind of stuff in there because it does sell, but he's really proud of some of the more interesting fine art type photography that says more about him. And is actually more like the weather conditions that you would usually get if you go on holiday to the Lake Districts, i.e. mood. So well worth checking out if you ever go to Keswick. Check out his gallery, Lens District. I also believe he may be making an appearance on YouTube at some point as well. So keep an eye out for that. Now, number 4, I would say, is Mark Littlejohn. Now, Mark, I have run a workshop with. I am running another workshop with later this year to the Isle of Arran, which I think is now sold out. But Mark is Mark's an enigma. He's an ex-landscape photographer of the year 2014, I think it was, about the same time as I won outdoor photographer of the year. And he's based in the Lake District. He works on the Ullswater steamers during the summer. He's got a couple of dogs, Red and Barney, and a couple of Maine Coon cats, which are real characters, and he's constantly posting videos and photos of them on social media. But on top of that, he posts some wonderful woodland work. He's very much a camera in hand type of photographer, doesn't rely on tripods and all that kind of stuff, so he reacts very much to the conditions, and he processes in a way using split toning, which just creates some absolutely magical images. He's also a deft hand with an iPhone as well, so he regularly posts photos from his iPhone that most of us would only dream to be able to take with a proper DSLR type camera. So well worth checking out Mark Littlejohn and his work. And then finally, last but not least for this particular vlog, is Rachel Talibart. Now, Rachel works from the South Coast, and she runs workshops down there and around and about, but she's very much a coastal type photographer. She's been making waves in the industry recently with exhibitions and all sorts of things. And there was no pun intended there, but last year she published a book, I think it was last year, called Sirens, which was based on a project where she was photographing some absolutely fantastic waves and giving them names based on Greek and Roman gods and goddesses, I think it was. So yeah, a wonderful book, but a great photographer to follow as well. So there we go. That's my top 5 landscape photographers to follow who aren't on YouTube but are based in the UK. Well worth checking out their websites just for inspiration, and look at how they attack the landscape, as it were. Now, brings me on to the second part of this vlog, and that's the competition. You might remember from my last Norwich vlog a few months ago, I mentioned I was going to run a competition when I got to 500 subscribers. Well, I kind of missed the boat, and it got blown out of the water when Nigel Danson, thank you very much Nigel, mentioned my channel on his channel, and my subscriber list blew up by like 200 subscribers overnight, which was quite incredible. So as of today, I'm on 788 subscribers, so I'm going to change it slightly. I'm not going to run the competition at 500 because I missed the boat, but I'm going to run the competition from now until I get to 1,000 subscribers. Now, you don't have to subscribe to enter the competition, although that would be nice, but all you have to do is comment on this video. Don't care what you say, just keep it clean, please, and ask any questions, whatever. I don't mind. I'll answer them in an appropriate way, but yes, put a comment on this vlog and any of the vlogs that come after this until I get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you want to enter more than once, you just need to comment on the next vlog or another vlog after that until I get to 1,000. If you comment twice on this one, you only get one entry. But yeah, you can enter multiple times if you comment on further vlogs until I get to 1,000, then the competition will close. Now, what about the prizes? Well, there are two prizes. There is a runner-up prize, or it's a prize that's kind of open to anybody internationally as well. And what that is this. Well, no, not actually that. This is rather expensive acrylic aluminium with an acrylic dye bond print, but it's that particular image, which is my winning image from Iceland, that won Outdoor Photographer of the Year. So what you'll actually win is an A3 print, roughly this size. This is another image from Iceland of an ice cave, but it's an A3. It'll be an A3 print, obviously in landscape rather than portrait, printed on photo speed Barita paper. So, and it'll be signed as well. So that's the runner-up prize, and if you enter from anywhere in the world, that will include postage to wherever you are. Now, the first prize is only unfortunately open to UK-based photographers, unless anybody wants to fly in, and I doubt that very much. But it's actually a one-to-one workshop with myself in Snowdonia at the beginning of next year or in the first quarter of next year, and I'll work with the winner to arrange a suitable date. It will be over a weekend, a Saturday and a Sunday, and will include one night's accommodation. It won't be fancy accommodation, but it'll be comfortable and clean, and I might even buy you breakfast as well. So yeah, that'll be a photography workshop, one-to-one, in Snowdonia next year, which is kind of a bit of an exclusive, because after this year, after this autumn, I won't be running workshops anymore, at least for the foreseeable future. So this really will be your last chance to join me as I take you around Snowdonia, that I know so well and love, and we'll be discussing all sorts of things about photography, composition, and the aesthetics of photography and landscape, and technical things as well. But yeah, I'll really try to impart my knowledge on you in the way that I do in my regular workshops. So there we go. All you need to do to enter is comment on this vlog or future vlogs up until I get to 1,000, and the competition will close, and I will draw the names out of a hat. Okay, there we go. That's all for today, and until next time, keep shooting. Boom.